anti-submarine arms race scene heating up in Indo-Pacific amid great threat from China, military analysts said, after the US Indo-Pacific commander told a Senate panel that America needed to strengthen its underwater advantage in the region. Admiral Phil Davidson told a Senate Armed Services Committee hearing that Chinese technological advances had been cutting into the US military advantage in the air and in space, but he stressed that the U.S. still held an advantage when it came to submarine forces. Continuing to build submarines is critically important, Davidson told the panel. It is our most significant advantage in all domains right now, a Hong Kong-based military expert said. Davidson's remarks suggested that the U.S. would send more nuclear attack submarines or SSNs, such as Virginia-class and Los Angeles-class subs armed with torpedoes, anti-ship and Tomahawk missiles, to the region. Washington sees a great threat from the PLA Navy, whose anti-aircraft carrier technology has become more powerful today. Only its SSN technology still holds an asymmetric advantage over the People's Liberation Army. A naval expert based in Beijing said Washington would also encourage its allies and partners in the region to upgrade their submarine forces and combat ability. All the U.S. submarines are nuclear-powered, so they are quieter and stealthier, with better strike capability than Chinese submarines, he said. Last month, U.S. ally Australia announced it has signed a $50 billion deal for a fleet of 12 attack-class submarines with French shipbuilder Naval Group. The submarines are to be designed and built in Australia under a strategic partnership as part of the government's $63.94 billion national shipbuilding plan. Meanwhile, India's defense ministry last month approved a $5.6 billion project for 6 advanced submarines to be built under a strategic partnership model to bolster the country's undersea forces. The report said the submarine project would help the Indian Navy counter the swift expansion of China's fleet. India has been a strategic partner to the U.S. since President Donald Trump started pushing his Indo-Pacific strategy in Asia to counter a rising China. Both Australia and India would be able to use their submarines to block Chinese Navy ships from entering the Indian Ocean or the South China Sea in the event of military conflict between China and the U.S. Attack submarines can take a greater role than surface vessels. They could reconnoiter Chinese warships in the region or carry out stealth strikes if necessary, but they could also be used to block key channels in the Indian Ocean or the Malacca Strait in the South China Sea. A defense analyst from Singapore said aside from sending more nuclear attack submarines to the region, the U.S. could also deploy more anti-submarine warfare or ASW to counter China's growing fleet. U.S. allies and partners' roles need to be factored in too, and several of them possess in their own right those qualitative edges when it comes to submarines and ASW, such as Australia, India, Japan, he said.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you like the channel and want to support, please support on Patreon or PayPal. The details are given below in the description.